one has worked harder to ensure that those payments get to Americans than this administration. Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, Secretary Treasury Steve Mnuchin have been on the Hill many days now trying to get this deal worked out. But it is Democrats, it is Nancy Pelosi, it is Chuck Schumer that are making an absolute mockery of this process rather than coming towards us and do a clean extension of unemployment insurance. They are moving beyond what their initial request was of $3 trillion, and then they moved to $3.4 trillion. They wanted $100 billion for schools, and we offered $105 billion, to which they rejected. They are making a mockery of this process. We're still engaging with them, but this president has been clear. He's ready to act on this, and it is of paramount importance to him. And again, why would you reject Martha McSally's clean extension? Democrats are fundamentally unserious, and they're making a mockery of the process.
Okay, then if you don't want to move on that, with regards to the executive orders, the president has signed a flurry of those recently. He said yesterday that he expects to have a health care plan by the end of the month and also an immigration plan by next month. Does the White House feel a sense of pressure to get everything on the president's to-do list done before November?
No, but the president moves at a very rapid pace, and he wants to get as much of his agenda accomplished this term and going into next term. This president's done a lot already, but he will work on COVID, and alongside that, many other issues, as he routinely does. This administration often is accomplishing items on 2 or 3 different topics in a day, as you can see today with the human trafficking, the event this morning, and then also I have an announcement. The president will have a COVID briefing at 5:30. But I do want to just step back and say this with regard to COVID. I think it's really important to put the successes of this administration in context, and I got some new information from HHS just before I came out here. This was a novel virus. There were no tests. There were no therapeutics. But what did this administration do? We, as I noted earlier, surge testing, increased it by 32,000 since March. HHS is projecting 100 million tests completed by September. Because of President Trump's tearing down of red tape, there are more than 230 clinical trials of potential COVID drugs and biological products are underway, and over 510 are in the planning stages. Today, NIH announced 2 separate COVID treatment trials, Active 2 and Active 3, and these are monoclonal antibody treatments. And also by September, we have secured more than 500,000 courses of treatment of remdesivir. That is one of the several therapeutics that this president has achieved and finding for the American people to treat this novel disease, this novel virus. And the vaccine, again, moving to phase 3 clinical trial at the fastest rate for any novel virus in history. This could only be accomplished by President Trump, by a businessman in the White House who is not only on the race to get a vaccine, we have 2 in phase 3 clinical trial, but is securing 100 million doses in advance so that we're ready to ship them out. This president has been hard at work on COVID, along with a number of other issues, and those EOs will be forthcoming.
Yes. Are you calling on me? Can I please go?
Yes.
Israel reopens. Israel opened schools, and they had issues with that. There were outbreaks. Students got sick. What do you think of the fact that Israel opened schools and had to close?
I called on you and you didn't ask your question, so then I proceeded
to speak over another reporter. I wasn't going to do that. So do you not want to answer my question now that I was not being rude to another reporter?
Go ahead, Andrew.
Okay. The president said in his interview with Axios that he's doing everything he can do to address